This is the review for Jayko. Jayko was released in the year 2004 under the second Knights Kingdom line. The Knights Kingdom line was considerably different than other LEGO IPs in multiple ways. First, half of the year's sets were dedicated to action figures and the other half was dedicated to minifig scaled playsets. Second, the line was also partially story driven, making it quite interesting in the scheme of things. Jayko here is the young knight out of our first year's cast. He may be inexperienced, but he's fast. He trains hard to become the best knight in the kingdom. He also uses his training to show off a little. Taking a look at the set, the light blue color stands out the most on this figure, accented with white and light gray. The set is primarily made of ratcheted brick joints. These ratchets are the same type as the ones we see on other Technic or Bionicle sets, but here they've been updated for more LEGO brick connections rather than Technic connections. These ratchets make the figure very sturdy and allow it to pull off many poses without worrying about the joints getting loose. They're also decorated with very angular bricks to invoke an armored look. At the head, it's made out of 3 pieces: the faceplate, the head itself, and a pin axle connecting it to the torso. The faceplate is very nice, angled to invoke an idea of speed, which is supposed to be the character's main skill. Lifting the faceplate reveals a large print that is the face. This print is done well, capturing a very focused expression for the character. The torso is one solid piece. Near the neck are 4 studs to allow for different connections rather than the socket. The front is decorated with a number of prints and has a 2x4 section of studs to allow for different pieces to attach, allowing you for some customization. One of these pieces is printed. At each shoulder is a ratchet socket where the arms are connected. Same for at the hips. Around the back there are some anti-studs as well as a lever to activate the gimmick. The arm is made up of 2 ratcheted bricks. The upper arm has a single pinhole on each side, where the hand has a single axle hole on each side, as well as an axle hole at where the fist would be to hold weapons. Both these pieces also have a 2x2 stud section to allow for bricks to be placed. The legs are made up of 2 ratcheted brick joints, one horizontal, one vertical. They both feature a 2x3 stud section, as well as 2 pinholes on each side. These 2 pinholes connect these little side plates, which help fill out the legs. And finally, the feet are on a single ratchet with anti-studs on the bottom. Alright, articulation for these guys is really good. 2004, LEGO brought their A game. So, you get a full 360-degree swivel. The head plate lifts up and moves down. Arms can go all the way up. The shield, you have to pose accordingly. And then it can go all the way around. You get 90 degrees of elbow bend. And you can go all the way back if you want. That's weird. You get full rotation at the elbow there. So you get full movement. There's nothing at the wrist. This is a solid piece right here. Same thing for this arm. At the legs, you can go up that far, so you can do way more than the full splits. You can do a karate kick. You can go forward that far before you need to start moving it outward to bring it up. Oh. And it can move this far back. So lots of range of movement there. Knees can move forward 90 or just shy of 90, backward 90, and then you get a full rotation all around. At the ankle, you get rotation all around, forward, backward. There's no ankle tilt just because of how the ratchet is built. And that is standard for both legs. So yeah, articulation-wise, these guys are pretty great. Like, there's nothing really stopping them from pulling off any poses. Alright, size-wise, this guy's about 20 centimeters tall, about 8 inches. Size comparisons, here he is next to a minifig, a headmaster, to a Metru, and SS-32 Prime. The sword is molded in a flat gold. It looks really nice. Its crossguard is angled, resembling wings of a hawk, which tie into the shield. The shield has a large hawk emblem on the front, being Jayko's animal symbol. It looks really nice. It also is made of a cardboard material, which means it's really thin. It's also not connected too securely to the arm via a special mount designed for the shield, and a small transparent dish to hold it on. Now, the main function is activated on his back. Here, there's a lever which, when pulled down, swings the arm upward. You can put either one of his weapons in his hand, so Jayko could swing his sword or shield. Or both. Unfortunately, this function doesn't lock or disengage in any way, so the arm will always droop down unless you adjust the ratchet. This function also plays with both weapons, which explains why the shield is so thin. It's supposed to be a game of swords, where you take two knights and try and knock each other's shield off. In theory, this is a great idea. Between the sword, the pop-off shield, and the strong joints, it has the potential to be a great play feature. Though, in practice, it doesn't work that well. The swords aren't long enough or heavy enough to really make this work, and the shields don't connect securely enough that the shields can fall off so easily to almost anything. Plus, when the shield falls off, that little transparent dish goes flying, and it can be really annoying to find. Another thing that can be a problem is that the shield, being cardboard, can be damaged very easily by the sword constantly beating on it, thus possibly leaving you with an unusable shield and a damaged sword. The last thing to cover, Jayko comes with his instructions and 3 game cards, which are specific to this set. These cards can be used as an alternative to the shield if you lose or wreck the shield he comes with. On the other side, there are bits of information related to the character itself, allowing you to learn more about the character and the world they live in. Another interesting thing to mention, at the back of the instructions features a comic strip detailing the story. Each of the figures' manuals are slightly personalized to that character, giving you a small chunk of a greater story. I guess other lines have got priority on the comic books. But still, this is a nice alternative. Thus, you don't have to go hunting for segments of the story separate from the toys themselves. So, strong joints with great posability, a good look, and some LEGO customization that really makes this a strong candidate for practically a perfect set. Unfortunately, with how much the function takes over the figure, as well as the more gimmick-centered weapons, really pulls this figure down for me. I can see where they were going with this, trying to standardize their LEGO action figure lines with full articulation and interesting functions, just like another action figure line LEGO released in that year. Okay, I'll bring up the elephant in the room. Another reason I don't think this works as well as the Bionicle sets is because the Bionicle parts, especially their torsos, generally have more connection points and customization options compared to the Knight's Kingdom torso, leaving this piece kind of a single-use part. So, that's Jayko, the young hawk of Morsia. Do I recommend him? Yes, to a degree. He's definitely one to get since he's the staple character. He's a good function-based action figure. Unfortunately, though, he hasn't aged too well over the decade and a half after his release, with the gimmick overtaking most of the torso and the tiny weapons. They can be a bit of a turn-off to what could potentially be a great design with strong ratchets and great posability. So, what do you think of Jayko? Do you think he's good? Do you think he's bad? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.